Hi there F2Pers, this is Goodfellow from F2P.com and today we are checking out EverQuest Landmark from Sony Online Entertainment. For those that don't know what EverQuest Landmark is and are confusing it with EverQuest Next, the two games are pretty much independent. EverQuest Landmark is a persistent world where you can build stuff. Think Minecraft, only it's completely unpopulated of mobs. You will see other people running around, but that is pretty much it. And you can gather resources, you can craft stuff, you can build your own houses, homes, structures, whatever you feel like. The good thing about the game is that potentially if people make good enough structures, then there is a chance that the developers will upload your claims, which we'll get into later, into the actual EverQuest Next game. They will appear for other players to kind of operate in if it's like a cool building, or you make like an adventure site for some, like an ogre lair or something like that. So there is kind of that going for it, this kind of symbiotic relationship between them. But essentially it is a standalone game. It is currently in open, it's not in open anything, it's currently in alpha, but you can purchase a founders pack which will give you access to the alpha to testing. So you might see that the game is kind of glitching in and out graphics wise at the moment. This is twofold. First of all, I have got the graphics settings tweaked down to round about medium settings, and obviously it is alpha. The reason I've got it on medium settings is because this game is absolutely killing my system. I can run most top-end games, but I really seem to have some problems with this one. Whether that's because it's still testing and tweaking, I don't know. Whether it's something to do with my own system, I've not got a clue. But anyway, so we're going to show you kind of little snapshot highlight features of the game itself, some of the stuff that you can do. We do have one of the, I think we've been given access to the most expensive founders pack that you can get, and so what the main thing that this gives us is this axe here, the founder's pickaxe. When you are gathering resources, you generally need to make an axe to cut down trees, or a pickaxe to get mine ore and stone and stuff like that. This is basically a twofer, so you can do both with one item instead of having to equip them both in and out. But it is only the basic axe, so it can only get the most basic materials. For getting materials, literally you go up to something and just left click it, keep hold of it and start hacking away. And actually if we switch over to the loot channel, it will show us what we're getting. So we're getting build wood logs, which I think are actually quite hard to get. Everybody keeps going on about these build wood logs. And that's it. You can see that the life of the tree is going down and down and down until poosh, it blows up. So that is how you collect wood. When you see little orange areas like this, this is copper. So different materials have different resources that they can mine from them. If we keep going a little bit further down, there's still some more orange there. So you can see we're getting copper ore, we're getting dirt, and we're falling in the hole, and we're jumping out of the hole. So this isn't the biggest resource, but there you go. You get little blue elemental coppers, so you get extra resources from these copper nodes. And you can dig anywhere. I mean, it's not just there. I can start digging the dirt here, and I can go down and down. I can mine into the 9 hells if I need to. But I'm pretty much only getting dirt, and occasionally, you know, you can get stone. Actually, oh, this is one thing I can't mine apparently. So this is an element I can't get rid of, but this one, yeah, this I can. So and we can hack away. You can literally mine through a mountain if you want to. You can tunnel straight through it to the other side, but it takes a while. And that is probably the biggest feature of this game. Everything takes quite a while to do. If you have played Minecraft, and I haven't, you do need a lot of patience because you need to do a hell of a lot of resource gathering, and it's for two things. The first thing you need to do when you're in the game is I think you start with a basic axe or something. You must start with some basic axe to get your initial resources, but let me check. Yeah, okay, so see these big spires over here? This is like the teleporting hub where you can get to different tiered zones. So it's a persistent world, but there are different kind of continents almost, with tiers 1 to 3. Depending on the tier, it determines what resources are available. So in tier 1 you have all the basic stuff like copper, wood, tin, things like that. In tier 3 you get the harder to find resources, which I don't have the required items, the required pickaxes to get yet anyway. So at these hubs you start with a stone forge that you have access to, and you have different recipes that you can make stuff. So as you can see here, we can make a copper pick if we needed to, we can make a stone pick, bronze picks, and it shows you what materials you need to actually make that item. I don't think I've got a bronze pick yet, so let me have a look in my inventory. Quick push of I. I've got a copper pick, I've got a stone pick. Okay, that's quite handy. So yeah, so I will make, I think I've got all the materials I need. Yeah, so I can craft, no I can't, what am I missing? I'm missing, oh, is it, yeah, build wood. Okay, build wood planks I need. Okay, so another thing you'll see, and I don't think there's a wood shop around here to convert. This can convert my ore into ingots. Yeah, so you can kind of make. So if I've got copper, so I've got loads of unrefined copper ore, and I can turn that into ingots. So I can make 3 ingots at the moment. Yeah, it literally takes 100 to make 1 ingot. So I can see there, quick shot of what materials I have. This for me is the biggest issue. It takes so much time to get the resources you need. To make one of these build wood planks, I think I need 100, well maybe not 100 build wood because that takes a while to get, but you need a lot. You need a hell of a lot to actually make anything. And that's generally your tools. Once you make better tools, you can make better items, and with better items you can get better resources, or build a better manufacturing station like the forge, like the woodcutter's table, like a marble forge, and with those you can create better items for your claim. So I will, well, I mean, I guess I will show you how we get a claim, which we're probably gonna have to do a little bit of traveling. Okay, well, you know what, we're just gonna stick it down anyway. You can see all these little red boxes. This is hitting M with the minimap, and this is the world that we're currently on. So all these little squares, these show other people's claims. This is where other people are building, and in general you can visit them. Most people haven't done anything. They've made a claim and then that is pretty much it. But we're gonna make our own claim and see where we can get to. So let's hit this and it'll tell us, see, we can't build in the red zones, which is an issue. Even each claim has kind of some territory around it that you can't build into. So we are nowhere near anywhere that we can build. We're going to try and head over there. We'll try and slap it down on that green spot there. Towards the edge of the map where people haven't built so much, then you've got more of a chance of laying down a claim. The problem is that you kind of end up further away from wood and things like that, so you're forever having to go back and forth. It's not the end of the world, but it's, again, it's another inconvenience. So you can kind of look around. I mean, it's a nice little place, but there's no NPCs or wildlife or anything like that, which for me is, I mean, it's alpha, so I'm presuming they are going to come here at some point. I think it is supposed to be a standalone game, and as with Minecraft, you do have the kind of survival mode with it. Let's have a look for placing this claim, see if we're any closer. I don't even know where it was. Okay, keep going. On the other side of there. We are miles away. One of the things the game is lacking for me at the moment is a minimap. I'm forever having to check my map and getting lost and turn around and overshooting resource points, so it's not the easiest way to get around. Although climbing mountains is relatively easy. I think there might be areas that are too flat. I think if you've got a complete sheer vertical drop, you can't travel up it. But you can build things like a grappling hook for climbing up rocks and stuff like that. So it's, you know, it's pretty cool. Okay, let's see where we're at now instead of running too far and overshooting it. No, still got a little bit of journey to go. See, and I don't even think at the moment I can place down any markers or waypoints, so you just got to keep on checking. You don't take any damage from falling, which is good, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So yes, that's one of the things I noticed. There's a lot of running around. There's a lot of trying to find the necessary materials. See, like this here is yeah, you cannot use that. It's resource rating of your current tool is too low. So I'd have to build a better tool. I'd have to craft a better tool to be able to dig that up. The problem is with some of them, and one of the main early resources that you need is tin, and it's really hard to see tin because it's generally just white, and it's not normally this white. So unless they've, yeah, so that's not even something I can get. It's white, but it kind of looks like stone, and it's really hard to see. The only time I've really been able to kind of mine it with any real success is at night, and it kind of shows up a little bit more. Okay, there we go, we're nearly there, and hopefully we'll be able to. There you go. You can kind of get a bit of an idea of the relief as well by scrolling around on the map with your mouse, which is cool. So I think we're supposed to go over here, and we're going to try and lay down a claim. If not, I'm going to cut the video and then we'll jump to the next part. Yay! Okay. So, as you can see, because I can turn like that, you can choose how high or low you want your claim to be. So it can either go into the ground and you can dig down. You can only build in this rectangle that your claim, the blue rectangle, not rectangle, cuboid. That is your claim, so you can either have it on the surface and not really build anything on the surface and dig down, or you can have it on the surface and build upwards, or you can kind of go halfway and do whatever you want to do. So we're going to go halfway, and we've claimed it. So cost to stake this claim, nothing, because it's only our first claim. I think you can have additional claims, I believe. So we're going to confirm it, and boosh, our claim exists over there. So you can see the blue and gold cuboid. Now nobody else can see it like that. That is literally just for us. You can go into other people's claims and it will appear at the top and tell you that you're there. So finding a claim that is suitable for you is hard, because most places have already been taken. So you do end up on the edge of areas, or you just have to not be too fussy and pick somewhere that is available like this. You can build on the other tiered areas, tiers 1, 2 and 3, but if you build on a tier 3 area, you can't access the initial resources, the early resources that you need to start building. So anyway, one of the things that I have built previously, I have built my own stone forge, which I need to right click and then can put down there, push. So that is the same as the one that we saw at the hub, and I've also got my own lumber mill. So I'm just kind of throwing them down at the moment, and we've accidentally clicked it, so get rid of that. Cool thing that you can do, you can right click it, you can rotate it, so I can move it around, tilt it. Oh. So I could turn it upside down if I wanted to. Why not? Or you can also scale it. So if you want a smaller one that doesn't take up quite so much room, then you have that choice. So like I was saying, one of the things with the other station, you can create ingots. With this one, you create the build plank woods. So there you go. We need 60 build wood logs to create one build wood plank, and we just hit craft, doosh, done it, and it's used it all up. So now we need another 58, which, you know, we've got loads of trees around us, so we can try and do that. Let's see if we can get some build wood. It's not possible to harvest that. Okay, well we don't want that one anyway. What about this one? Not possible to harvest that. Okay. I don't know if this is because it's too close to my claim. Ah, there we go. So we're getting some build wood, but we don't get a lot. That's the thing. And I'm not sure whether that was just a case of. So okay, we got 5 build wood that time, 6 build wood, but seems though we need like 60. You know, it's like I said, it can take time to get the resources, but we'll get it so that you can see the next pickaxe. Whoosh. You can see on my taskbar there's some different tools, especially on hotkey 3, 4, and 5. You've got like the cube with the plus, the cube with the minus, and the green plaster. Those are your build tools for inside your claim. You can't use those anywhere else. You can only use them in your claim for building, and we will demonstrate them in a moment once we've built our pickaxe. Let's have a look what that's taken us up to. Do we have 60? So you can switch between your inventory and your resources, so you can actually see what you've got, which is pretty cool. So we've got 53 build wood, so yeah, we need another 7. Oh, not possible to harvest that. Okay, let's try this. And yeah, so like I said before, the game does actually go through day and night cycles. Other than it being harder to see stuff, it doesn't make that much of a difference. So we've got our build wood there, so that'll do us. Home sweet home. Okay, so go to our wood, right click it. Oh no, I think you can left click it. Yeah, wood. And oh, okay, I'm still 4 short. My math sucks. Let's try and get one more quick. Okay, that's not a tree. Oh no, it is, but I don't have my thingy open. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going just in case. Just in case my math's really bad. And you can see that there's things like flax coming off. That is normally a plant resource, but they don't as you've got the axe for trees and the pickaxe for mines, you normally have a scythe for plants, but they don't have the scythe item in the game yet, so you get the plant resources off the trees at the moment. But that's not intended to be the final case, how it's going to be. Okay, I think we've got enough now. Woo! Okay. And yay! So I think, if I recall correctly, we now have enough to build our No, don't tell me this. Okay, so I can't pick, it's not an axe, it's a bronze pick I want. So there you go, it tells me I can build one. Yay! So I've got all the items I need, craft that. Ta-da! So I've got my bronze pick, which means I can now get some resources that I previously couldn't get. So one of the main things that you need to do is get all your tools. That is kind of like one of the things you fundamentally have to do before you start building. Now, as you can see here, we've got a little toolbar. When we go, I don't know if this is actually around when you're outside your claim. Oh, it is, yeah. So that just shows you kind of what you've got available. You can build with different shapes, you can build with different materials. So these are my metal materials, I have my wooden materials and my stone materials. We're going to stick with the stone materials because they are generally the easiest to get. You end up with loads of dirt. So if we kind of check out this and select the dirt there, by pushing 3, my little cube appears and I can increase its size with my mouse wheel, and it tells me there how many it's going to use. It's going to use 27 of my dirt to build a cube of that size, or 216 for a cube of that size, you know, up to 1728. So you can see that potentially I'd burn through the 39,000 dirt I've currently got very quickly. And if I build it, oh, I can press Control and Z, typical undo, and it will undo it. So there you go. So I've got dirt. I've got a dirt pile there. But if I hit 4, which is my erase, I can either erase the full thing and get my dirt back, or I can take out a chunk of it. I can take out a smaller chunk of it, and I can take out an even smaller chunk of it. So you've got different sized blocks that you can build with. So you can get really kind of creative. It does take quite a while to build stuff. My advice would be have an idea of what you want to build before you start building it. Otherwise you can literally be here forever. I think I have the option of being able to remove the elements. I don't know, let me check. Well, I mean, I can remove the floor, that's for sure. See, I can start digging straight down into the ground. But I can't remember how I remove plants and stuff. Let's have a look. We've got 5. I'll say so. 5 is your heal tool, and it will. I don't necessarily know how it works, but it's supposed to heal up like a block. So if I start cutting chunks out of that, and then I go to heal it, it will heal it back. It's a weird tool because I can't seem to heal the area that I've just destroyed. I can't heal this area, and I'm not sure how I do it. One of the things you've got when you're building, you can see how it's kind of moving around quite uniformly. That's because it's locked to a grid. Now I can hit G, and then I get a little bit more freedom, so it doesn't necessarily lock it down on these exact grids, which is handy if you want to be a little bit more fast and loose. I also have a circular tool that I can use, which is probably going to be easy for yeah, so the circular tool is a lot better for rebuilding. And I've built myself into the ground. Help! There we go. So that's a good tool. I think because the cube locks to the grid more. And if you use your heal tool, it will basically restore the area to what it was before you started building on it. So I should be able to kind of get rid of these. We'll leave it. So you can really go to town. So we can really just, let's just go nuts. And you know what, we're going to go C, and we're just going to go down. Digging straight down. This is how quickly we've kind of managed to dig into the ground. See, now the problem is that it's not too bad with this one. But if you kind of used a square cube to dig the hole, and you dug straight down, you can't get back up. You can't climb such a sheer vertical drop. So you have to kind of think ahead of where you're going to be building. But it's pretty cool, you know, you can kind of make your tunnels and stuff like that. And there's lots of options, which I think is one of the good things. Okay, I think we might be at the edge of our boundary here. Not sure. Yeah, so if we can't dig any further, that's probably because we're at the edge of the boundary, which, if we have a look on our map, yeah, it looks like we are. So if we kind of dig this way, and we'll go 4, we should be able to dig a bit further. Now, one of my main complaints about this is that sometimes it is really hard to see terrain that you have dug out in comparison to what you're trying to dig. So if I kind of give the example over here again, so I kind of dig this out in front of me. It doesn't necessarily look like you can't really make the shape out. It's quite hard to see what you've done. So if you're trying to build with any detail, then it does get quite difficult. Another thing is that this is I mean, you can change the size, but this is as small as the sphere goes, which for me isn't small enough. If you want to kind of get these curved edges and kind of a little bit of detail, it does need to be smaller. Again, we are in alpha, there's lots of changes going on, but the beauty of this game, because the graphics and the world itself is built up from voxels, it means that you can get these round edges. That is the whole point. Now, it's quite cool. It reminds me of like being in some kind of, I don't know, underground spider's lair or something like that. Like you've kind of fallen down a pit, which is what I'm saying. You know, you can make some really cool areas with it, which doesn't surprise me why they would want people to build areas that then go into the game. You know, you kind of have some extra tunnels going off here, and you can choose which direction you go into. So it's, you know, it's pretty cool. But yeah, the problem is that because the circular tools aren't, for me, accurate enough, and it's quite hard to build with them. So far, all the builds that I'm really seeing are, it looks like Minecraft. It's all very blocky, kind of boxy based buildings, which, don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world, but it kind of, for me, defeats the purpose a little bit. So here you go, we can build some columns, and I think this can be a little bit difficult to do sometimes, but you can build anywhere. You have to build directly on top of it, but then, you know, trying to build underneath it's quite hard to position it. And again, I think that's all going to come with time. It's going to get, hopefully, easier to position stuff. And I suppose the more you do it, the more experience you get, the better you get at doing it anyway. So it might just be the fact that I'm being a complete noob as to why I'm struggling with it. But as far as the video goes, I mean, it takes ages to build anything that looks good. So I'm really not going to get into too much detail in it with this video. But I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on the game. If you do like Minecraft and one of the things that you do like is building, then you're probably going to really love Landmark. It is essentially that. The only thing it does lack, it doesn't have Minecraft's kind of survival element. It doesn't have the digging into some dangerous territory and accidentally falling in lava, or having to create arrows and weapons so that you can survive the night. It lacks any of that. Hopefully something like that will come. Hopefully it will be a standalone game on its own. But I don't want to put words into Sony's mouths, so I'm not going to speculate in as far as that goes. But essentially, that is everything you're seeing. There are different tools that you can build, and I'll kind of do a quick demonstration with it. It's not just the sphere tool. You can build, you know, chamfered corners. So you've got kind of weird little shapes that you can choose, and you can give them a quick scroll fairly easy. If you can manage to line it up. See, every time I hit control, it's... Ah, there we go, I don't need to hit control, that's why. So, you know, you can build stuff, and you've got your different materials. So, if we laid down some ore, we do it on there, and it does seem to kind of automatically connect to a block, but they are just kind of a little bit hard to position sometimes. I can only seem to build them connecting something. It's hard to kind of select something in the middle of the area, you know, of just floating in space. It always seems to want to grip to a wall because that's where the mouse is pointing. So really I need that capability of selecting that block and now moving it, or opening up more of a 3D block generator. But other than that, yeah, you kind of limited in ways. But again, I think from what I've seen on Twitter, from David Gregerson, I think that might be his name, one of the main guys at SOE, dealing with EverQuest, particular Landmark at the moment, and they are definitely looking for a lot of feedback with how it's going for people. That's why the alpha is available to purchase to play. So if you are interested, you know, get involved. They've got a good community, constantly updating what other people have made, and you can kind of check out some of the great builds over on their official website and on their Twitter. But that is everything. That is everything I can show you. Like I said, it does take a while to get anything done, but if you have more patience and time than I do, then I say go for it. But hopefully this video, as usual, has been helpful for you, and at least informative. If so, please give it a like and a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed it, then hit subscribe to the channel, and we'll constantly giving new videos, first looks and gameplay videos, kind of all our free-to-play stuff. So you can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at f2pcom. And thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.